Famcast Media, bitch.
Mi gente, ¿cómo están?
¿Cómo estamos, mi gente? Welcome to another edition of Must Love Wrestling as we come here to you on a Wednesday night. Super excited to talk some wrestling with you. Let's get started right away. I mean, professional wrestling this week was pretty exciting. I'd have to think about the draft. I'd have to think about the continuation of Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. Gunther and Kaiser are kind of a tag team right now. But why don't we jump right into Becky Lynch? Because what I'm seeing right now is that Becky is being underappreciated. A lot of wrestling fans out there have made it their mission to attack this woman, to essentially say that she's Becky Hogan. And why is that? Because no one has put over more talent than Becky Lynch. No one has talked more about moving the women forward in professional wrestling like the way Becky Lynch does. It's very strange to me because it's clear when she's in the ring that the fans live in attendance do not agree with the fans that are on the interwebs. Becky Lynch seems absolutely ready for business. She seems like, I'm going to come out here. I'm going to be the best thing on the show. I'm going to sell every single thing here. I'm going to sell old merch. And I'm going to make a brand new star. She did it with Bianca Belair. And now she's doing it with Liv Morgan. Now, the issue with Liv Morgan is she good at what she does? Because going back to the last time they feuded when it was big time Bex against Liv Morgan, it honestly felt like Liv just wasn't able to keep up. She wasn't able to actually go toe-to-toe with Becky on the mic. That's a major issue. I mean, to me, it's a major issue because when she talks, she almost comes across as reading cue cards. She doesn't come across as someone who can just do it freely. Almost like she skipped those days in promo class about talking in front of a live audience. Guys, I gotta be honest with you. It feels to me like Liv might not be cut out for the task. She might not be able to do something like this, which is why I think that WWE agrees with me, that they don't see the value in her as a singles babyface. So I think they're going to make her a heel. We saw during a promo segment last week on Raw, Liv Morgan leave a dressing room followed by Dominic Mysterio. Now, what better way to garner heat than for Liv, the person who knocked Mommy, Rhea Ripley, out of commission, for her to turn heel, for her to lavish in the fact that she's the one who got rid of Rhea Ripley, for her to gloat. And then on top of that, for her to gloat as she took Rhea's man. Guys, I think that's the best way to get heat. I think it keeps Dom getting that loud, natural, organic heat. Because honestly, guys, it feels like no one gets better heat than Dominic Mysterio and Nia Jax. And they've moved Nia over to SmackDown. So now we have a heat magnet on Raw and a heat magnet on SmackDown. But when you put that heat magnet with someone who made a mistake, but they're going to use that mistake as a storyline, oh, absolutely. This feels 100% like the right call. Because I think Dom can talk on the mic, or he doesn't need to. but he can be the reason that Liv beats Becky. And that is how you build a strong heel. Now, speaking of heels, guys, we need to jump over to the biggest heel in professional wrestling today, Mr. Tony Khan, Mr. AEW owner, because he's making a lot of mistakes. Now, on the previous episode, we talked about how he took all of the attention that should have been for his company and he gave it to WWE. He gave it to them because he was on NFL Network and had the prime opportunity to push his company forward. He had the opportunity to get football fans on the NFL Network to tune into AEW. And instead of doing that, he took a shot. He took a shot at the other company. And you know how it works with interwebs now. People don't just take what they see on television and, I'm just going to change the channel. No. I promise you, people jumped on their phones. They got on their iPads and they were like, why is WWE being compared to Harvey Weinstein? And then they just slowly and just kept Googling and kept checking stuff out and kept checking things on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. They just kept doing it. So without him following what I imagine is a decent PR team, he just went out there and said what he wanted to say. And he bashed some guys that come over from his company. By stating that that entire company is Harvey Weinstein, he said that by proxy, so is Jade Cargill. So is Sean Spears. So is Cody Rhodes. And guys, this wasn't the only time where Cody was offended by something that Tony or someone in his company said. Because during the media scrum, Toni Storm, she cut her little infamous promo talking about candles and the Bella twins, and then talking about stories. And she made some comments about stories and feelings and go see a movie. And then continued it by saying, I will never call you out to the ring, Tony. And man, I thought at first, well, this was a great job in her just garnering a lot of heat, but it looks to me like, based on Cody Rhodes' interview yesterday, he wasn't happy with this. He wasn't really excited. As he said, Tony should have told them that. That's difficult. A lot of mistakes being done in AEW recently. But no mistake bigger, in my opinion, than the continuation of this stupid Elite and Tony Khan feud. Now tonight, live as I'm doing this show with you, Kenny Omega is set to do his re-debut on AEW. So once again, let me get this straight. After the pay-per-view, after they crown their first Black champion, this is the third show since the pay-per-view. And he is not top billing. We're not celebrating his success. We're not showing you video packages. We're not doing anything for Swerve Strickland. Last week, it was all about the Young Bucks storyline, the Jack Perry storyline, the Tony Khan storyline. This week, it's all about Kenny Omega's return. So still nothing for Swerve Strickland. I mean, they treated Samoa Joe the same way, so who's to honestly be surprised? I'm not surprised. But I bet you Will Ospreay has a match tonight. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to grind much. He just has to show up once a week, so that's not bad at all. Guys, I'm very excited about the draft. about what happened, but I gotta say I agree with The Undertaker. On his podcast, he stated that the one thing missing from the WWE draft was trades. So I'm hoping WWE listened. I'm hoping maybe he called somebody and said, hey guys, maybe we should get some trades in here. Send people back and forth. Let's do some stuff like that. Let's shake it up. I think they would make out like bandits doing something like that. I love it. I think that's a brilliant idea. I think The Undertaker has a great mind for the business even now that he's out of the business. I love it, to be honest with you. I think it's one of those things where maybe he should be maybe he should try his best to be actually a part of the show. I like it. I will dedicate one whole episode to the draft, but this is Weekly Wrestle Talk. And we have a premium live event in 3 days. So why don't we jump right into Backlash in France? Because I'm excited for this. Once again, Triple H and the brilliant team with creative have done the right thing, and they've booked a 5-match premium live event. I gotta say, they're digestible. They're easier to watch. You don't get lost in the shuffle. There's not a lot of random stuff. Let's talk about the matches. So in what I'm assuming is the opening match, we have the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga versus the team of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Now, it's only a matter of time before Randy and KO cave. It's only a matter of time because they both betray partners more than the other. This is kind of one of those teams. This is the closest we're going to get to seeing like a Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin tag team. I'm excited for this match because this is Tama Tonga's first premium live event with WWE. He's been presented as a superstar. He's come in as the enforcer. And what's brilliant about that is that Solo was the enforcer. Solo was the guy. Now, I don't know if you guys ever saw The Godfather 3, but in The Godfather 3, Andy Garcia's character was this crazy, I got to do everything my way. I got to prove myself to the Don. And that's kind of what I think is happening right now. Solo is doing everything in his power to prove himself to the family, to prove that he could be the next guy in charge. My official prediction is that the Bloodline wins this match. There's no way I see Solo losing his first match as the quote-unquote tribal chief. Moving on, we have the Kabuki Warriors versus two of the big three, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And guys, I fully expect a title change. I think this is Jade Cargill's first title. She wins it this quickly. Her and Bianca Belair are just otherworldly. They're generational talents. And they're working with the right team. This keeps the titles on SmackDown, but also they can move around then. Jade can work both shows now because she's the tag champ. So that's what I see happening. I expect Bayley to retain versus Naomi and Tiffany Stratton, but I would not be surprised if this was the match of the night. Because, wow, Bayley, phenomenal in-ring performer. Naomi, just a amazing talent. And Tiffany Stratton, who is clearly going to be a part of the future of the business. So I think this match is going to be crazy, exciting. It's going to be fun and potential match of the night candidate right here. The triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. Now on to the first big championship of the evening. El Campeón, Damian Priest versus Mr. Yeet himself, Jey Uso. Now, I was talking with someone earlier today about this, and I've come to this opinion now that I believe that Logan Paul will cost Jey Uso the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that little promo we got on Monday night was a taste. It was just a taste. And as we've known from Logan's previous feuds, there's always a promo that leads to them to garner the interest of the fans. And what better way to continue to have Logan Paul keep moving up the card than to have him feud with the biggest babyface on Monday Night Raw? That's main event Jey Uso. That's right. Thank you, D. Thanks for joining the show here, bud. But I expect Damian Priest to retain this championship, if not for one pay-per-view. And ultimately, I think we'll talk about what's going to happen with him and Drew McIntyre and CM Punk on another show. But for tonight, we're just going to continue on with our Backlash predictions. I expect this match to be a bang, though. I expect these two to show out. This is Damian's first World Heavyweight Championship title defense. So I think he's going to give it his all. I'm looking forward to the gear that both of these guys are going to bring. I'm sure it's going to be fire. I expect a lot of fans in France to be all about Jey Uso. And I'm wondering if the Judgment Day actually listen to Damian Priest and they stay away. Maybe he doesn't need them to win. Maybe he's got a lifeline called into Logan Paul. I guess we'll see. And now on to the main event of the evening. I mean, what can we say about this match? We have the American Nightmare defending his undisputed WWE Championship against the phenomenal AJ Styles. This is very reminiscent of Roman's first title reign. The first big challenger he had was AJ Styles. I'm very excited for this match because I love the idea that AJ had wrestled Dusty Rhodes in the past. And now he's working Cody. I love the fact that these guys have never touched, that they've never had a match together. And they're making that a part of the storyline. But one of the things that I find so intriguing is Cody Rhodes labeling this match as a must-win. Wouldn't every match when you're the World Heavyweight Championship and you can lose the title, wouldn't every match be a must-win? Why specifically is this match against AJ Styles a must-win? Why does Cody feel that way? That's right, the lone wolf AJ Styles, bringing over those TNA gimmicks. I love it. I think Cody Rhodes' reign so far has been intriguing. It's been kind of a slow burn, and I like it. I don't think we need fast-paced microwave booking. I think a nice slow burn into, as The Undertaker stated, because he has heel characteristics, I think a slow burn into him turning into a heel is a brilliant idea. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, that to me would be one of the biggest turnarounds in wrestling, to have Cody just snap and go heel. Cody is a wrestling god. Well, he definitely got that moniker from JBL because JBL was a wrestling god. I like that. AEW lost the king. Yeah, they did. Diamond Dallas Page told us very early. He told us. He said they made a mistake letting Cody Rhodes go. They've made lots of mistakes as we've talked about it. But hopefully tonight with the return of Kenny Omega, they start making the right calls. I guess we'll see. So guys, to recap my predictions for Backlash, I have the Bloodline going over on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. I have two of the big three beating the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. I have Bayley retaining her WWE Women's Championship against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. I have Damian Priest retaining against Jey Uso. And I have Cody Rhodes retaining against AJ AJ Styles. There's no way the Golden Boy, the American Nightmare, the politician, as he was called by our tribal chief. We miss you every day, sir. Every single day. As a matter of fact. Oh, he's not here at the moment. But he will be back for next show. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. Thank you to D for the new intro. Absolutely love it. It's a beautiful intro there. And guys, please, if you like what you hear here, like, subscribe, follow. You can follow us on Twitch. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok. Anything you do supports the page. So please go out there, share. Word of mouth is the best way to get us out there. And I post about 1 to 2 episodes on the Car Pod on Spotify a week. So if you don't have time to sit down and watch a show here on YouTube, but you're working and you want a nice digestible 20 to 30 minute wrestling conversation, then jump over to Spotify and listen to that. Guys, I really appreciate you. Next week, I'll come on here and I will give you my full draft recap because I fully expect for there to be some shakeups, some trades. So until next time, I'm out.